Mehmed the Conqueror. The man that brought the Byzantine Empire to its knees and showed the world what a formidable foe the Ottoman Empire could really be. A man of power, wisdom, and creativity, he was a sultan for the ages and a legend that would make its way into history books around the globe. His life was like a movie that millions would pay to watch. But how did young Mehmed II become the fabled conqueror? The third son of Sultan Mehmed II and his concubine Huma Hatun was born on March 30th, 1432. Named after his grandfather, Mehmed I, the future sultan spent the earliest years of his life in the Ottoman capital of Edirne before being sent to Amasya, where he learned at a precious young age to govern and study all forms of education. With the help of his tutors, Mehmed was instructed about religion, history, a plethora of foreign languages, and all the knowledge that he both required and desired as the son of a sultan. Given the context, young Mehmed II had a fairly typical life. That is, until the boy was 12 years old. Murad II, Mehmed's father, was a troubled sultan. His reign was marred by both domestic and foreign tensions and wars that eventually led the 44-year-old sultan to retire to Bursa, abdicating the throne to his 12-year-old son in 1444. This would be the start of Mehmed II's first reign as Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. No one, including Mehmed himself, seemed pleased that a child had ascended to the throne. The empire had been on eggshells due to the turmoil during Murad's reign, and a 12-year-old was far from capable of rectifying this, nor did the boy want such a responsibility. With foreign threats ever growing and the Ottoman nobility in crisis, Sultan Mehmed and his Grand Vizier Halil Chandarli sent letters to the retired ruler demanding that he return to the throne he had thus abandoned. In fact, to be precise, Mehmed said to his father, "If you are the Sultan, come and lead your armies. If I am the Sultan, I hereby order you to come and lead my armies." And, being faced with a command he could not ignore nor disobey, Murad returned to his former seat, and Mehmed gladly yielded the Ottoman throne to his predecessor. With his father back and taking the reins just in time for the Battle of Varna against the European Crusaders, Mehmed could now focus once more on his studies and further preparing for true leadership. These few years in the interim gave the young sultan some crucial knowledge and experience that would be truly necessary when Murad II left his throne for the second and final time after his passing in 1451. Mehmed now had no choice but to take full control of his empire, and now he was ready. The second and widely remembered famed reign of Mehmed II was a busy one, to say the least. The now adult man had many changes and endeavors in mind from the moment of his ascension. Inspired, according to many, by the wondrous life of Alexander the Great, Sultan Mehmed got right to work. Maybe one of the ruler's most important strategies utilized throughout his reign was that of tolerance. Mehmed, contrary to many great monarchs of his time, showed remarkable religious tolerance to his imperial subjects. While dissension and opposition to his power were not well accepted, differing religious beliefs were, gaining the young sultan a wide array of support and cooperation throughout his lands. Furthermore, Mehmed was known to enact policies that favored those less fortunate, even so far as his lowest class citizens. This was often done in ways such as reallocating lands of the noble class to the lower slave class. Doing so was quite ingenious, as it both won over loyalty from the bottom of society and kept the high-class nobility in check. But Mehmed's intelligence as a leader didn't just pertain to winning over fans. He also knew just what to do when it came to solidifying his authority. Unlike some of the 6 sultans before him, Mehmed wanted to ensure that he was surrounded by men who would be loyal to him and his cause and nothing else, as opposed to working with the already established aristocracy. He thus formed a more centralized and highly organized administration that would work as a cohesive and faithful unit, allowing his focus to stray outside the Ottoman borders. Intelligent leaders such as Mehmed, however, tend to have further interests beyond just government affairs and wars. For the 7th Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, arts and literature were his most precious hobbies. Mehmed was widely fond of classical literature and the work of Renaissance artists. At one point during his reign, he had built a library that would house over 8,000 pieces of literature in